12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
And we begin tonight hearing from family, friends, and loved ones honoring a Valley mother of two who was allegedly killed at the hands of her husband. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Caribe Divine.
I'm Mark Curtis. A vigil was held tonight in honor of Alicia Grant. 12 News journalist Jonathan McCall was at that emotional gathering and shows us how Alicia's family is coping with the tragedy.
Cameron Grant says he's always known just how special his daughter Alicia was to him. Her smile, he says, meant the world.
She was a great friend to people. She had tons of enthusiasm, tons of imagination.
Thursday night, he learned just how special she was to so many others as well.
It warms my heart.
At a place where Alicia Grant not only honed her craft, helped to guide others, made memories, and where friendships were born, they hugged, held each other, and also tried to hold back the tears.
She just had a love of life and would do anything for her friends.
A life cut short back on September 9th. Phoenix police say Alicia was stabbed to death near Cave Creek and Thunderbird in North Phoenix, allegedly at the hands of her own husband, Stephen Dennis. Detectives say Dennis admitted to the killing. The investigation still ongoing.
But I find comfort in knowing that her spirit lives on in all the ways she touched our lives.
But as family, friends, and loved ones try to make sense out of a senseless tragedy.
Her laugh, her ability to embrace joy fully.
Cameron Grant now carries new memories of just how special his daughter was to him and others.
She obviously touched dozens and dozens of people's lives that I had no idea about, and it just it's overwhelmingly joyful to see that.
Putting the smile back on his face as he remembers Alicia. Stephen Dennis now facing second-degree murder charges in connection with Alicia's death. As for Alicia's family, their attention now turning to her two children, a 15-year-old daughter and 9-year-old son left behind, now without a mom. A GoFundMe page has now been set up to help them in their time of need. You can find more details on that right now on our story at 12news.com. We're in Tempe tonight. Jonathan McCall, 12 News.
Jonathan, thanks. We have an update on some breaking news we first brought to you at 6:30. A semi-truck caught fire on State Route 87 this evening, with the flames spreading to some nearby brush. Officials with the Tonto National Forest say they've named it the Valley Fire. Crews were able to stop forward progress on it at 6 acres. However, the southbound lanes of State Route 87 remain closed tonight at State Route 188. Be sure and stay with 12 News for the latest updates.
Developing in the West Valley, an ASU student is recovering after being stabbed while on campus. It happened around 11:45 this morning on ASU's West Campus. School officials say that a female student stabbed another female student inside of a classroom. The victim ran outside, and that's when people began trying to help her. We heard from a student who was walking to class when she saw what happened.
And I see her just on the ground, and I'm like, what happened? Like, I didn't know anything about it until my friend would text me. She's like, did you hear what happened at Sands? And I'm like, no, I'm heading to my class though over there. And she's like, yeah, so apparently like a girl got stabbed. And I was like what?
The suspect was taken into custody. It's unclear at this time the relationship, if any, between the two individuals and what may have led to the stabbing.
New tonight, the Northwest Valley will soon be home to a new construction project. ADOT is widening another portion of the 101. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra talked to concerned drivers about the impact it'll have.
People who drive the Loop 101 regularly agree the roadway needs to be widened, but they're worried 2 years of construction will be unbearable.
Our state's constantly under construction.
Construction continues on Arizona roadways. This time, it's heading to the Northwest Valley.
My family and I, we do use the 101 often, pretty much daily.
A widening project on the Loop 101 between Interstate 17 and 75th Avenue will add one lane in each direction. The project also aims to improve bridges, frontage roads, and ramps, including adding a third southbound left turn lane onto eastbound Loop 101.
It's adding additional storage for vehicles, additional capacity, so that in a morning rush hour, there's more room for folks to be able to make their way onto the freeway.
This follows a similar widening project on Loop 101 between Princess Drive, Pima Road, and Shea Boulevard. Arizona Department of Transportation spokesperson Doug Ninsel tells me these improvements are years in the making as traffic demands grow.
We don't just do these projects with, say, next year, 3 years down the line in mind. These types of projects are done with 2 or 3 decades in mind.
Construction is expected to take more than 2 years to complete with planned restrictions and closures.
We're not real happy about it.
Roger Keyboers raised concerns over the level of noise this project could bring nearby homes.
There's never been good noise abatement because the wall is too short.
ADOT says they understand the concern, adding they follow federal guidelines on noise abatement.
But unfortunately, construction work, it can get loud, it can get noisy. We do work with folks where we say, hang in there with us, we're going to move through this as quickly as possible.
This project is set to begin next Friday. ADOT encourages people to regularly check their website for notice of restrictions and closures. In Glendale, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, thanks. Now to your weather impact forecast. Meteorologist Lindsay Riley joins us. And will we close out the week in double digits?
Well, Saturday is going to be the last day where we have double-digit highs before we swing back up into the triple digits again. Today, 98 degrees. We have 2 more afternoons, Friday and Saturday, with highs in the double digits before a late weekend warm-up. Right now, we're sitting at 10 degrees off of the high temperature today. Mid-60s in Payson, low 60s in Prescott. Here's where we'll wake up to early tomorrow, 6 to 7 a.m. Lots of 60s around the valley. Nice, comfortable start to the day. Plenty of sunshine. And then statewide, we're looking at 30s for overnight lows closer to Flagstaff and the Grand Canyon. 40s right around Show Low. As far as rain is concerned, here's a look at our 12 News exclusive monsoon meter. And we do actually have a slight chance for a few showers, mainly up toward Mojave County late tomorrow into the evening. That will spread eastward heading into Saturday, but the rest of the state will stay dry. We'll see a lot more dry time than wet throughout the weekend. Caribe.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. Now over to Queen Creek, where a man has been indicted by a grand jury on 3 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor. Police say that Cody Weaver is now in custody. Investigators say that they collected 13 files depicting child abuse material on his devices, showing young children ranging in ages from infants to toddlers to young teens. In June, police arrested Weaver and booked him into jail, but then he was released a few days later when the county attorney's office sent the case back to police for further investigation. Last week, County Attorney Rachel Mitchell told us what was missing in Weaver's case.
We felt like we needed to get that solidified because oftentimes it involves examination of phones or digital evidence, that we have to make sure it's there and we know what it is before we go ahead and file charges on those.
Weaver's attorney says that he doesn't believe that there is probable cause to show that Weaver committed a crime. We will continue to follow this case. Stay with 12 News for more updates.
Tonight, we continue to follow an ongoing investigation at the Salt River where one person is dead and another missing after an apparent drowning near Sheep's Crossing. Maricopa County Sheriff's deputies responded to the recreation area last night at about 5:30. The deputies located a man along the shoreline who had been pulled from the water. He was pronounced dead at the scene. MCSO says it's now using a drone along with deputies on foot to search for the other missing person. The search is still ongoing.